phalange. Hello my wonderful friends, this is the very first video ever recorded in my brand new studio. I moved, I'm in a new place, and I've got a brand new studio, and it's wonderful, and I even have an office and everything. All of the acoustic panels and foam and stuff is not set up yet, so I'm just kind of sitting here on the floor, so the acoustics are not perfect. But I'm here, I just had to do this video. I didn't actually anticipate recording a video anytime soon, because I got a lot of other stuff already recorded lined up, but I ran in here because we just got a very exciting piece of news today that I feel is exciting enough to warrant a whole discussion on it, and that is Nintendo is buying Next Level Games. Next Level Games, especially since, like, Luigi's Mansion 3, I have been singing their praises. Them as a developer, they are incredibly skilled. They've put out some, in case you don't know, Luigi's Mansion 3 is the most recent, but they of course did, Luigi's Mansion 2, Dark Moon, they did Metroid Prime Federation Force, which I know made a big stink, but I will stand by my opinion that it looks like a really high quality game, just kind of wrong place at the wrong time, kind of made everybody mad, but like the game itself looks super duper good. Punch Out, on the Wii, I've heard only incredible things about that game. Mario Strikers Charge, I haven't played that either, but everyone says, even the games I haven't played, I've heard a lot of people say they're super good, super underrated in some cases, and, they wish Nintendo would return to them, Mario Strikers. But yeah, I don't know what it is about them. I think it's just so funny, like, sometimes you get different people in a room together and they're all gonna produce different things, every different group, and sometimes you just happen to get a group of people that just happen to be super duper good at what they do. And that's Next Level Games. I think, I feel like they're kind of becoming the new retro studios, where it's just like they were a second party developer and they just do Nintendo games, but they're just like unusually good, and they're using some of the properties that Nintendo hasn't been doing themselves. And this is basically what they've become. Luigi's Mansion 3 is incredible. It's super duper fun. It's, it's not perfect, but it's, the graphics. I mean, like, the gameplay is great. Graphics are just incredible. I don't know how Next Level Games are doing it. I don't know how they are making graphics this good. They really push the limits of the 3DS, and then, of course, now with the Switch. Okay, I'm just gonna go on about Luigi's Mansion. They're a very talented developer. I think it's really cool. So they've been doing first-party Nintendo stuff exclusively, and even referring to themselves as a AAA Nintendo developer. The last time they did anything for anyone other than Nintendo was just years ago, and they worked on different like tie-in games and stuff. They did like a Captain America and like a Transformers and stuff, but like for the most part, for a very big portion of their existence, they've just been Nintendo. And I think it's really cool that Nintendo decided to make this move. It's kind of unexpected because I feel like Nintendo, I mean, I can't speak for a multi-billion-dollar company or whatever, but from my probably foolish perspective, I always feel like they should be more aggressive about buying up studios, buying up properties, bringing in new talent, fresh talent, and kind of pulling them, into their ranks, and doing more, and just overall to increase the number of like up-and-coming people in the company who can take over bigger creative roles later, and then also just increasing game output. You find a good studio that wants to make Nintendo games, hire them, get them, have them make just more Nintendo games. We just get more games. And it feels like Nintendo has not been very aggressive about purchasing companies and IPs and stuff that really like fit really well on Nintendo. Level 5, like they shut down all of their localization stuff, so we don't even know if any of their future games are gonna come to the West. It's like, that's ridiculous. Layton should be, this is a Nintendo franchise now. This is a Nintendo series. Nintendo helps bankroll everything because it started on Nintendo, and that's where it should be. And then you have Alpha Dream. They did the Mario and Luigi games. Obviously Nintendo does own the rights completely to the IP, but like the team themselves, they're super good at what they do. They went bankrupt. Nintendo didn't buy them. Perfect opportunity. So just there are lots and lots of different just like series and studios that I feel like would work perfectly at Nintendo. It would just be an awesome thing if they bought them up. So it's great to see this. I don't actually know what led to this decision. I don't know why they I don't know, decided to make an exception. It is possible, you could theorize that it's because Luigi's Mansion 3 sold super duper well. Like if you look at their last few games, you know, Federation Force was a really big flop, but that's, you know, that's not the game's fault, or not their fault necessarily. But then like Luigi's Mansion 2, Dark Moon, sold like a ton, sold millions of units on the 3DS. It was a big hit. And then now 3 is like, it was even on the top 10 chart for a while. It sold way more than I would have ever expected. It's basically sold Nintendo well. You know what I mean? Like it is a very successful Nintendo title. Nintendo's got other series that are way older and you know, seemingly more popular in just like the public eye. You know, like Kirby. Kirby's way bigger than Luigi's Mansion, right? No, Luigi's Mansion outsold Star Allies dramatically. So it could just be that. It could just be that they impressed Nintendo enough and they were like, yeah, this is serious. This is some serious business. Whereas on the other hand, Alpha Dream, their last few Mario and Luigi titles, they sold pretty poorly. But again, that really isn't their fault. So that's kind of weird if that's Nintendo's reasoning. They just did remakes on the 3DS and it was just a bad time to do it. So I don't know. We really don't know exactly why it happened or what kind of spurred it to happening. It kind of sounds like Next Level wanted to be bought by somebody, which I don't know. I guess I can understand. You know, you get a lot more support and you get a lot more funding and all that stuff. So whatever made Nintendo just say, yeah, who knows? But I am very excited about it. I mean, it does say here, you know, the actual official reasoning. This is so they can secure the availability of Next Level Games development resources, including development expertise, and facilitate an anticipated improvement in development speed and quality by enabling closer communication and exchange of staff with the Nintendo development team. I mean, that much is, you know, that's obvious right there. That's the obvious answer, just like we want to make better games and more games with these people. They are skilled enough that we just plain old want them. And I mean, I guess really that does support the idea. It's just they reached a level of quality. They're like, you guys are up to snuff. But specifically, we're not exactly sure. The real question is what it is going to mean. Like what in the long run this, I mean, you know, it's always the question I get to. What does this mean? In the long run, what is this going to accomplish? And as far as improving quality, that's hard for me to believe. I mean, that is only a positive thing. That is only a compliment to Next Level Games. Their games are already so good. Like I had some problems like mechanically with Luigi's Mansion 3, just decisions they decided to make. But as far as like just quality of development, that is a AAA Nintendo game. That is 100% up to the quality standards of Mario and Zelda and all that. So I don't know about improving quality, though the idea of increasing output is exciting. I'm cautiously optimistic just because I guess I'm only cautiously optimistic because I'm usually pessimistic. I'm used to these games taking a long time to make, especially like really extra good, extra polished, AAA Nintendo games. I'm used to them taking a while. I'm used to your retros and your next levels and such taking a long time between releases, so I don't want to get my hopes up yet about getting, next level games a lot faster. But there's a little piece of me that's willing to be a little bit optimistic, just because, like, imagine how cool it would be. Nintendo just does the thing that I'm always saying they should do, like lift up the studio. And, what if they bring in some extra staff and they're able to split the team in two so they can be developing 2 games at once? That easily could lead to problems. I'm sure plenty of studios have done that. They've worn themselves thin, and maybe the really, really big creative director is busy with one, and so the other one just doesn't get the same treatment, and it's a problem. But it could just as easily go completely the other way. It could just be like, thank you, we just don't have the money to support that many extra people, but yeah, totally, we'll be able to split into 2 or maybe even 3 and develop a whole bunch of games at the same time. Because oh my gosh, like, just it's too amazing to imagine getting next level games like every couple years, like a new one every 2 years or something. That would be incredible. I mean, again, they're just like retro. they took Luigi's Mansion and they ran with it, and it's become a very, very successful series. And so, and you know, they tried with Metroid again. It was just kind of not the right. I'd like to see them try Metroid again. I could see them doing a popular and successful Metroid Prime game on, you know, on Switch or on anything. Like basically, they're good enough that it doesn't even matter what they grab onto. They seem to just do great. They made a Mario soccer game and it was great. And they, you know, they did Punch-Out. Punch-Out hadn't gotten a game in 10 trillion years, and they did one, and everyone says it's super amazing. So, really anything. The sky's the limit. They could revive anything, or I mean, not even necessarily revive, but just give a sequel to something that Nintendo has had, and just, you know, they just haven't had time or the focus to, the energy to give to it. So here, you guys take it, make a new one of these. That would be great. I would really, really love for that the whole output thing to increase. Oh yeah, so I guess technically I really can't overlook the idea that they're basically saying by working at Nintendo with Nintendo. I mean, they'll probably stay physically independent. I think they'll probably say, they were Canadian. Yeah, it's hard for me to believe they're all gonna up and move to Tokyo. But I suppose just being in Nintendo's ranks, maybe Nintendo will be able to install more workers there and back and forth. And I don't know, like basically being a part of the company, it's going to make things easier to just communicate and work together. Probably just way easier to allot Nintendo staff to them, to help them with hiring, that kind of stuff, which, I mean, like really practically, yeah, that can speed up development time as long as they work well together, you know, as long as Nintendo and them aren't butting heads and having a hard time, which is hard for me to believe because they've worked so well together on these previous titles. So if anything, that's, I mean, it's hard for me to believe there can be any negative here. It really should actually increase the development, development speed and all that, and potentially output. I guess it's not actually that pie in the sky to imagine that scenario. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, it's super duper duper exciting. The deal is official on March 1st. That is when it happens. I don't know how long it will take for any sorts of, changes to take effect or for staff to get switched around or whatever. I mean, for all we know, they'll spend a year hiring new staff and kind of, working to restructure the company. Like, who knows? Who knows what they'll work on? Who knows if this is going to get them started on another project that they otherwise wouldn't have had time to do? I mean, it's been over a year since Luigi's Mansion, so that they've got to be working on something else already. So I don't know what's going to happen. What other series could they work on? Like I said, it could basically be anything, and I think it'll turn out great. I do wonder if Nintendo will end up just, we might not even see a lot of new things for a while. Maybe they'll just get started right away on Luigi's Mansion 4, or, another Punch-Out, or just, maybe another Mario Strikers. Maybe they'll just stick with the IPs they've already worked on, or they'll do something brand new, or they'll do both. Anyway, now I'm just blabbing about this. I don't even have to brainstorm different series that they could dip into because it's your job to do that now. You can go down to the comments and try to take a guess or just your wishes. What series you would love to see next level game. I keep almost saying level 5. Next level games tackle. And I keep trying to brainstorm and then I open my mouth and I speak like, that doesn't make any sense. They could do F-Zero. Nah, why? That's like a racing game though. That's not like anything they did before. But then I remember they've done a sports game and then a first-person shooter game and then a Luigi's Mansion, and then I realized, in a punching game, I realized there is no limit. It could be F-Zero. It could be the next Xenoblade or something. There's no reason it would be that. That's just a joke. But it could be anything, so head on down to those comments. Let me know what you think of this new acquisition. Do you think Nintendo should be buying up other companies and stuff like I think they should? What should Next Level Games make next? Let me know. You have a wonderful day, and we did it. First video in the new studio. Really, testing. Yeah, it's very echoey in here. Sorry. Like I said, I got the panels. I just gotta mount them on the walls, and it takes it's a really long time. So have a good day. I love you. Goodbye.